Hello. Now, you may be used to some newsreaders, mentioning no names, getting themselves pregnant so that they can paint themselves as caring progenitors helping to usher in the next generation. Obviously, I couldn't compete. Until now. You see, in this box, I have a little rabbit called Jeffrey. And I'm going to feed him, clothe him, look after him, and take care of all of his needs. At least I will do those things, as long as you keep tuning in. Because if we don't have 100,000 viewers by the end of this episode, then Jeffrey is going to be flatter than the world's cheapest pancake. I'm Mangrove Badgerhunt, and it's 6 o'clock. Obesity, or the fat death as it's now being called. Our reporters visited a high street where it was confirmed that a number of retailers are still selling food. Despite all the warnings and worries, we've discovered that it's still possible for the general public to obtain foodstuffs. We spoke to the Minister of Food, Sir Dougal Fee-Fi-Fo-Fum, outside his castle at the top of the beanstalk.
Sir Fee-Fi-Fo-Fum, what possible reason can you have for continuing to allow the outrageous high street sales of food?
Lovely. For more on that obesity story, tune in to tonight's Pantomime-orama, which is on at 10 o'clock.
Oh no, it isn't.
Oh yes it is. Just months after Blu-ray won the recent home video format war comes the announcement of Red-Ray. Distributors across the land are welcoming the new format and are preparing to re-release all of their back catalogue, again. The first release will be the new Hollywood remake of Fiddler on the Roof.
Stop that before you break something.
And now over to Brian St John Bryan at the Old Bailey, where a mad, greedy blonde is attempting to get more money out of one of Britain's most cherished males.
Thank you, Mangrove. Yes, it's day 112 of the case between the writers of a new Harry Potter dictionary and J.K. Rowling, or, as she is described in court, she who must not be named for legal reasons. And now, if I may just refer to my Harry Potter notebook. Said Miss Rowling, I feel so distraught about this that I may never contribute to charity again. To which His Honour replied, oh surely now, that's just emotional blackmail. Not at all, Miss Rowling continued. In fact, if I lose this case, I will personally go to Africa and start shooting children with a limited edition Harry Potter .357 Magnum, available summer 2008 from all good retailers. His Honour lost his temper at this point, saying, Miss Rowling, it is my belief that you could not possibly get any more money out of this Harry Potter franchise. No, Your Honour, that is untrue. There are 8 kids in Colombia whose pocket money I still have my eye on. At which point, Mr. Justice Hogwarts playset banged his trademarked Harry Potter gavel and announced the case to be dismissed. Miss Rowling then threw a glass of Harry Potter mineral water over defence lawyer Miss Hazel Rodd, because that's what these mad bints do when they have a hissy fit. And now, back to the studio.
Now, in order not to appear sexist or behind the times, we here at RBG News have hired a newswoman to present our next story. Over to you, Trish.
Thank you, Mangrove. And now for our top story. My friend, who's got such a cute, tiny, fluffy little puppy. Oh, her little nose, her mouth, her little tongue licking is so cute.
What?
Oh.
That debases everything that I've studied and worked for. I've never been more ashamed to be a news anchorman in my life. What possible humiliation can be left for me now? Ah! Concern was raised today about the decreasing amounts of migratory birds in Britain, which may lead to extinction in some cases. Birds seen much less than in previous years include the lesser spotted peacock, the lesser speckled coal-tit, and the lesser titted peacock. Global warming is being blamed for this, especially after it was discovered that yesterday the polar bear out of the Fox's Glacier Mints adverts has drowned. This is particularly ironic in that the hunting ban has resulted in a record number of foxes being spotted around the country bugging see-through mints at basset hounds. Legal news now, and local authorities have served an ASBO on a middle-aged man living in Chiswick who has been responsible for a reign of terror amongst the locals. Here's Brian McBrien with the story.
Thank you, Mangrove. That's right. The costly campaign of destruction that shook Chiswick started here at St Barnabas's Church. Now, you're the Reverend Magister, aren't you? Perhaps you could tell us what happened?
Well, I wasn't in charge when it happened. My predecessor was Father O'Hara. It was he who put Mr Spencer in charge of the nativity.
And what happened?
Mr Spencer ended up bursting through the church roof on a rope.
No, I meant to Father O'Hara.
Oh, a donkey fell on him 10 minutes later. It was on the other end of the rope. Killed stone dead outright. But he was a lucky one.
Lucky? In what way?
Do you have any idea how much roof repairs cost? I've had to fall in with Turkish organ traffickers. I've sold a kidney, a lung and a heart.
A heart? But you've only got one?
What?
You're not Doctor Who, you know.
Oh, bugger!
But it wasn't just the little church of St Barnabas's that fell victim to Mr Frank Spencer's chaotic orgy. Now, Mr Blinking, I understand that many in this quiet cul-de-sac fell victim to Mr Spencer.
That's right. He dropped from my neighbour's ceiling, caused an explosion in the only local factory still in business, and crashed through the window of the local mother care.
And yet, according to Mr Spencer's solicitor, this was simply a series of unfortunate mistakes and accidents.
Well, that's what they say. But the man's a nuisance. What with that ridiculous voice and that silly hat? How could anyone take him seriously?
Frank!
Come in, dear. I'd better go. The cat's probably done a whoopsie in the bidet.
It was yesterday that the authorities finally had enough and served Mr Spencer with an ASBO. We've also learned today that he is to be deported. Given his ability to cause grief to honest, decent British folk, his utter lack of charm, and the wearing of a beret, he's to be sent back to France. And now, back to Mangrove.
You are kidding me. It's 2008 and you're doing Frank Spencer jokes. It's not exactly cutting-edge contemporary comedy now, is it? I mean, what are you going to be doing next? Pastiches of the goodies? I don't know what just happened there, but if I discover it was another obscure cult TV reference, there's going to be trouble.
No, you're fine.
Really? Got it out of your system, have you?
Yeah. Honestly.
Fine. Better. Anyway, and now the weather with Bobby Bull.
Thank you! Once again, thank you! Rock on, Tommy!
Oh, come on, Cannon and Bull? There's not a person under 35 who can remember them. I thought that Fox's Glacier Mints reference was obscure, but bloody hell.
I'm going to have him, Tommy!
You told me doing all this would be cutting-edge satire about wars and politics, and instead you're referencing a couple of rubbish comedians.
Rubbish comedians! I'm going to have him, Tommy! I'm going to have him! Oh, I'm so excited!
Ooh, I'm shaking in my boots.
That's it!
That's it. I quit. You've lied to me. You've misled me. In fact, I don't think you could have made me look any more stupid. And just 2 news items since the launch of Red Ray this comes the announcement of White Ray, and we've got one here direct from the manufacturers. It's exactly like Red Ray, it costs the same, it holds the same, but it's this much smaller. And dependable, I should cocoa. Look, you can spread marmalade on it, cover that with some smooth creamy Philadelphia, and top it off with some bacon for preference. Obviously you'll never be able to play the disc again, but it does make for a lovely breakfast. That's tasty new technology. Well, that's it for today's broadcast. I won't be with you for the late news tonight. I'm going clubbing. Come here, you fuzzy little bastard.